fighting against terrorism. And it's crucial that states do not succumb to the arbitrariness and the imprecision of the behavior of terrorists in their efforts to restrict terrorism. Such arbitrary behavior by states, when it happens, actually fuels the resentment and is a recruiting officer for terrorism. So it's critical that in pursuit of steps to combat terrorism, states have to be very precise in the way they do this, and they have to be very rigorous in upholding standards. One thing that we've observed is that states often feel that their societies demand this kind of behavior of them, that societies succumb to the language of fear and want to see states take measures that move towards a violation of human rights in order to protect them. We've been so concerned about this that this summer we did some surveys looking at the willingness of societies to engage with armed actors and to see their governments and to see intergovernmental actors engage with armed actors rather than just engage with them from a perspective of dialogue rather than just from a perspective of imprecise or securitized measures. And our findings were very clear that and this was survey work that we undertook in the United Kingdom, Germany and the United States. So obviously only 3 states, and we surveyed over 4,000 people. But the message was very clear. There is an appetite in societies to see measures that engage with root causes and engage with actors who get drawn into these patterns of behaviour. And I think it's important that we see distinctions between those that perpetrate terrorist behaviour and those insurgents that stick to political agendas and don't target civilians. And sometimes I think the lines get blurred, and that then I think undermines the credibility of states. And when they reduce the terrain for the respect for rights, it undermines their credibility.
Well, our panel is shortly ending, so I'd like to return to the broader themes that we've been discussing now and looking ahead to this meeting over the next few days and also to the next few years. I would like each of you to perhaps provide some concluding thoughts on what can be done to restore the balance and safeguard the human dimension.
I think a lot can be done. If there is something that is happening, you can see in many member states, there is a lot happening. So I think we have to be very attentive to national developments in some of the member states where these, what I call this hunger for democracy, unsatisfied democratic demands are sometimes reshaping, for instance, the classic right-left divide, or are reshaping the structures of parties. We need to observe that and make sure that whilst that is happening, again, we are holding on very firmly to the fundamental freedoms. Because democracies can adapt, after all they do, that's what they do throughout history. But what cannot be adapted is cannot be changed, cannot be touched, is the protection of fundamental rights and the basic tenets of democracy, the separation of power, the checks and balances, and free and fair elections. So what needs to happen requires a lot of more vigilance, sometimes firmness, a lot of firmness, vigilance, but also requires a certain degree of perspective, trying to understand how our citizens in 10 years, and our citizens who are changing, because most of our citizens in fact come from the south of Europe. So whilst we try to understand what our citizens will be made of and how they will be integrated in society, as something that was touched upon today, we must envisage forms of democracy and expressions that will keep the social peace, that will ensure that our member states will have democratic expressions that are within keeping with fundamental values.
And what are you personally doing with this in your own work at the moment?
Well, very personally, we're organizing, because these questions are so complex, we're organizing early November a forum, World Forum of Democracy. And the question we're asking is populism the problem? Question mark. And we're trying to see how populist forces, again, have an impact on traditional party structures on the one hand, and how they impact media, traditional media on the other hand. But what we seek to do at this forum is to look at initiatives around the world, we're going to test them, that have found solutions in addressing these problems. For instance, we're looking into whether, by altering and changing the way in which you vote, whether votes can be done instead of choosing the person by giving votes, for instance, by giving negative or positive votes. There are many initiatives that can help us reduce populist tendencies and ensure that, again, citizens find adequate ways of expressing themselves. So yes, we're going to look into that, and hopefully we'll find some interesting initiatives that are worth encouraging.
Thank you. Mr. Cullen, also your summary